Good morning, everyone. As always, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get right down to it right away today. I feel like this might be a longer video. Hopefully it's not, but it might just be a couple minutes longer than usual. But anyways, today we're going to talk about goal setting. I feel like this is the time of the year where most people really start to, set themselves up for success for, the summer. And there's so much more that you can do, especially for us here in Wisconsin. So this is a great time of the year to start thinking about setting goals and actually setting those goals and start working towards them. Today we're going to talk about these goals in the context of exercise. So obviously you can use this method for many more things other than exercise, but just for the sake of this video and because exercise happens to be my area of expertise, that's what we're going to use. So today we're going to talk about how to set SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So using that acronym and those specific what's the word I'm looking for? Not measurements, but those specific guidelines, I should say, is going to set you up for success when it comes to goal setting. So let's dive into the first one here. So we're talking specific. So obviously with any goal, you want to make sure it's specific. If it's not, it can actually be counterproductive. You're less organized. There's less of a path for you to travel, and it can lead to lower motivation and expectations, things like that. So say you've never heard about SMART goals and you're just saying, I want to lose weight. That's my goal. First of all, that's a totally fine goal, but I think we can spice that up a little, make it a lot more specific. So let's say I want to lose weight by walking on the treadmill. Great. Now you have a way that you're going to lose weight instead of just losing weight. Let's move on to measurable. So, which is the M in the SMART acronym. So you always want to make sure that you can somehow measure your progress. Being that our goal is to lose weight by walking on the treadmill, we are obviously going to be weighing ourselves. Now, I don't really recommend weighing every single day. It can be very detrimental to your mental health. Your weight can fluctuate by a few pounds every day, by the time of the day, all these things. So maybe just once a week, at the end of the week, weigh in, see what you've done for that whole week. But make sure that you're always measuring your weight at the same time. Without getting too off track, we'll kind of stop there with weighing yourself, but you're always going to want to measure yourself at the same time of the day, same aspects, right when you wake up, you haven't had your meal yet, all those things. So for our goal about losing weight by walking on the treadmill, let's say we set a specific goal of weight loss that we're working towards, 10 pounds, we'll say. So now we went from I want to lose weight to I want to lose weight by walking on the treadmill. And now we are at I want to lose 10 pounds by walking on the treadmill. So we're getting a lot more specific, and now we have a measurement that we're working towards. So we kind of have a clearer idea of what we want to do. Next up in the SMART acronym is attainable. So setting the way I see attainable is that instead of just working up to that 10 pounds, you kind of want to get a little bit more specific, maybe set smaller goals on the way to your larger goal, or like checkpoints, for instance, that you can use to kind of gauge where you are. If you set these checkpoints and you're meeting them, it's going to increase your motivation and your drive towards that larger goal. So if we're building off of our statement that we just stated, I want to lose 10 pounds by walking on the treadmill. Now we're up to, I want to lose 10 pounds, losing 1 pound per week by walking on the treadmill. So now we have a smaller goal within our larger goal that we can work towards. And if you don't meet that smaller goal every single week, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not meeting your actual larger goal. It's just a checkpoint. You're trying to make sure that you're on the right track, and if you're not, it's a great way to kind of readjust your goal, but we'll kind of get to that in a second here, and just make sure that you're on that right track. Next up is going to be realistic. So kind of with specific, you want to make sure that your goal is realistic. So we stated that we want to lose 10 pounds by losing 1 pound per week. So we kind of already have a time limit set on that without kind of knowing it or outright saying it. But, if we said we want to lose 10 pounds in 1 week, for most people, that's not really realistic. And what that does to your motivation is it can be really detrimental. You can lose motivation. You'll kind of take steps back in your progress toward your goal if you can't meet it or if you're not on the right track. And then I mentioned before that you can readjust your goal. This is perfectly fine to do at any time while working towards your goal. Obviously, we're not knowers of all. We can't know what roadblocks we're going to hit. We might smash our goal and lose 10 pounds. Say we'll get to it in a sec, but you have to be able to adjust your goal on the fly and still be realistic with it. So just like I mentioned, try not to set unrealistic goals because it's only going to hurt you in the end. So if I said for myself, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks, get my summer bod going, that's not realistic. I don't have the body type for that. It's not safe for me to do that. I don't have the genetics, all sorts of reasons why I personally can't do that. For someone, it might be possible. But I think if we set our goal to 1 to 2 pounds per week, which is kind of the suggested amount of weight loss for most people, it's safe, it's realistic, it's most definitely doable for most people, no matter your fitness level. So again, make sure that goal is realistic. Probably one of the biggest components of the SMART goal is to make sure that it's realistic. So moving on to time bound, we're going to kind of wrap this all into one big statement at the end here, but time bound means that you need to set a deadline for your goal. If you don't have a deadline, you're just going to be, it's not really going to matter. You can say, you'll have that mindset that, oh, I never set a deadline, so if this week I gain 2 pounds instead of lose 1 pound, that's fine. It's not like I have a set date. So if you set a deadline and say, I have to meet this deadline, stick to that deadline, you will be definitely more motivated. It's going to be tough on yourself. You're the one setting that deadline. You don't have someone else telling you to have that deadline. So it's going to take a lot of willpower, but it'll definitely help you in the end. So with our goal that we've been talking through, we're going to set a deadline for 10 weeks. So now we have our very specific, time-bound, measurable, attainable, realistic goal, which sounds something like this. I will lose 10 pounds, 1 pound per week, by walking on the treadmill for 30 minutes each day. So we have our specific walking on the treadmill 30 minutes every day. We have a measurement, 10 pounds. We have attainability, 1 pound per week. And based on research and science and all that, 1 to 2 pounds is realistic. So now we have this amazing goal that will lead us towards that end product that we're looking towards. I kind of wanted to make this a little bit more interactive. So looking through or re-listening to this, or what you've learned, if you've taken notes, that's fantastic. Try to think of a goal that incorporates all these SMART guidelines. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So try to come up with a goal, leave it in the comments of this video, and start working towards that goal. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It was a little bit longer than normal, but not too long still. So again, take what you've learned here, leave a goal of yours in the comments if you like, and I'll check them out and start working towards those goals. Thanks for tuning in, and have an awesome day.